For the people who are wondering what my tier list for the first Descendant would be, it is this right here. I have played all of these characters. I've been able to see them in team compositions, and I'm not like level 7, level 20, level 30, trying to tell you what a tier list would look like without any real experience in the game and things of that sort. No, this is from, facing some very hard Colossus, the hardest Colossus that we can face right now. Currently, it's really hard to try and make a tier list whenever you haven't gone against anything that's hard. You need to have knowledge, and not just knowledge as far as like, oh, they're good in just farming. Like, you have to have skill, and you have to know what you have to do optimization wise outside of the simple stuff just that comes just like looking at the kit. You have to make a skill gap. You have to make a ceiling for a character. And this is what I have. So Bunny is OP. She can do burst damage better than anyone else can. She can do dot damage better than anyone else can. She can control the DPS that she's doing so well to where she never has to use it. Her synergy is insane. She can play multiple roles for a team, and that's what you're going to see in the S+. S+ can play multiple roles, and their synergy is very, very good, which means you can put them anywhere and they'll succeed in any sort of team comp. S is more of like, they have very good roles that they can do, maybe 1 or 2 roles that they can do really, really well. But if you try and step outside of those roles, then they're gonna suffer a little bit, right? Some of them are more support based S+. I mean, in S, you kind of have to use them in a specific format, but if you use them in that format, that's where they are extremely strong. The Sharon pick, a lot of people don't know about her, but she's extremely deadly. I just haven't seen anyone actually use her the way she's supposed to be used, and that's the reason why people are putting her low, because they're not smart. Well, let me not say that. They're not intelligent enough to get it done the right way. So if you master Sharon, and if you learn how to use her the correct way, if you build her right, you can legit make it to where you always have a damage boost. I was about to say, but I didn't know if I wanted to say buff or boost. That literally makes you a boss exploder. You can explode the heck out of bosses with her, and it's not just off of your active camo, like hitting behind them or with them when they're not attacking. If you are playing, especially with the Jaber, even like you can, there's so much stuff that you can do in order to make Sharon work at the highest like sort of like team comp, to make sure that if you have 20 big bosses coming at you at once who all have like immunity to certain things, and you have to hit specific things and you need to do specific damages, she really can shine in scenarios where it's time to delete people, and people just haven't learned it yet. So that's why they're putting it low. But I promise you guys, as the people start playing a build for a lot longer and actually begin to read and actually begin to be creative, they'll see just how OP all of those are. And then for A tier, you're going to see a lot of characters who are simply just a very specific role, just one role pretty much. And if you step outside of the role, you're going to see a lot of weaknesses. The only reason why Freyna is in A tier and not S+ is because her damage is geared towards a dot damage, and the dot is a little bit too long, which means the tick rate for it is too long, but the duration is long. So it doesn't tick fast enough, but it ticks long. That's not good, because that basically means that 20% of her damage is completely like taken off the board, because certain bosses you don't want to leave them alive long, which means if you're playing with a coordinated team, all of that extra tick damage that you're supposed to get for the duration is now ignored, because of the simple fact that you do not want to keep a boss alive. So you can build your build up as good as you want, but all of your damage is built on things staying alive long enough for you to get that damage over time. So in-game wise, it doesn't really work, and that's the only reason why she's A tier, because her damage is good. It's just that you need to make sure that she's a character where you change the tick rate to make it to where it ticks faster, but the duration is shorter. So that way, all of that damage is on the board. Because let's say your Bunny kills that boss that you just put, or that little thing that you just put that tick damage on, you're not getting any more of that damage. All of that damage is completely wasted. So all the skill power that you put into Toxic, or everything that you have in your weapon towards Toxic, it all gets ignored the moment that that boss dies, or if they have an extremely strong resistance to that, which means if you're not constantly ticking that same initial tick, how you can do with Bunny or Volby, then you don't get any more of that damage, which means that like there's 100% of the damage that you can do whenever you get a tick. She only gets about 75% of that if she's playing like with a team that's coordinated. If she's playing with the by herself, then she gets all of that, but it still takes long, right? Because it's damage over time, which means more time that the boss is shooting you. That's more bullets you have to eat, more support that your team is going to need. The best support is whenever you kill everything fast, because you don't need to get support, right? For example, Viessa, I think she's the best support in the game outside of Jaber and Enzo. Jaber is the best support in the game. Enzo's the second best. But Viessa is stronger than both of them as for support, because she makes it to where everyone gets ice shackled. You can't shoot at anyone if you're frozen still, which means you don't have a need for a healer because everyone's just frozen all the time, especially if you have the cooldowns, you know, built right for her. So, yeah, that's the biggest weakness with Freyna, is that she just kind of is a little bit more on the duration side and not more of the tick rate. And that's her biggest weakness there. So, yeah. It just, all of that damage is kind of, you know, taken off the board. So that's the biggest weakness. And then in B tier, we see Eugen and Blair. This means that they're characters where they have a specific role that the game wanted them to play, but they don't play it very well. So you end up being confused by playing them, because if you try to play your role, you end up getting punished for it. For example, Eugen, you try to heal, you get punished for being a healer because you don't have anything else that gives you damage, like how you can with Enzo, Jaber, or a Viessa, for example. That's the biggest weakness with those two, is that, like, for example, with Blair, they want you to get up close and, you know, do this, and the damage is good, but, like, you're up close and you don't have anything to really protect you from taking that hit. So any character where it requires for you to be up close, for example, Sharon, you have to give them an ability to where they can do that without it being a mistake or without them getting immediately blown up for it. That's one of the reasons why Esimo is not higher up, is because he does that too. And even though they did give him a skill to get him, you know, higher up, well, to survive that close range, there are certain bosses, whenever you're talking about, you know, playing a boss, you know, 10 levels above you, 5 levels above you, you know, 6 levels above you, they're going to hit you really, really hard. And it doesn't matter how good your abilities are. If you're not moving fast enough, or if you're not able to get out of there or get in and get out, kind of how Bunny or Sharon can do, then you're going to die. So Blair's kit doesn't make sense at all. It's like there's no synergy in his kit. So that's the biggest weakness with him. Eugen, you can't be a healer whenever all you can do is heal, and you can't heal yourself really. So there's no easy way to heal yourself without you having to wait, you know, exclusive with some very, very long cooldowns. And even still, there's no way to really do that. He doesn't have any real, like, synergy with himself. But either way it goes, I'm a person where I'm going to literally make every character good. So I am going to first make Bunny OP, and then after I show you guys how I made Bunny OP, I'm going to do this literally down this line. So for a character series that I'm about to do with this game, because I'm going to play every character in this game, I'm going first with Bunny, then I'm going to Glay, then I'm going to Volby, Viessa, Jaber, Enzo, Sharon, and I'm going down the line, so that way you guys know exactly what you can expect. And I'm hoping by the time I get to Freyna, they touch her a little bit, just so that way they give her a little bit of boost whenever it comes, or change that. And if not, then I'll just still find something out. My Bunny guide is coming out pretty soon. It probably is already up by the time you watch this video. Go watch that. I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I know for a fact that no one knows about. Not anyone who's been playing Bunny for the longest time. Like, so many little small optimizations that you guys can use in order to make sure you get the most amount of DPS out of her, and you're going to need it whenever it comes to surviving at the highest level of the game, and, you know, still, you know, getting DPS and all of that, and staying effective and playing to the way that her kit is literally geared for you to play, but also knowing you can venture out of that and still find extreme success in other areas as well. So this is my tier list. Not your average tier list, not your, oh, let's play the game for, like, you know, 10 minutes and then don't even have all the characters and then, like, act like I know what I'm talking about. No, this is, like, these characters can work. Right now, the best team comp in the game is currently Bunny, Volby, Viessa, and then you can either use them with the Jaber or an Enzo. You can also use Bunny, Volba, Viessa, and Freyna, and they're a really good team because you just literally run through everything. You don't even have to, like, go crazy. Or you can run Bunny, Volby, and then run a Glay and a Jaber, or a Glay and an Enzo with the Bunny and a Volby. Anything in the S plus and S, you can run literally any team comp with all of them that you want. They work together. All of the S plus and the S's, you can min-max them and you're going to get the best team comp. There's only one team comp that's actually really, really, really good that is not in that sort of bubble, which is Bunny, Volby, Viessa, and Freyna. You get electric damage, you get water damage, you get frozen, you know, debuffs from Volby, and then you get the water debuff from you get the frozen debuff from Viessa. the water debuff from Volby, and then you get the debuff from Freyna as well. So that's a lot of debuffs all on one boss. You can literally melt everything in the game. And then Bunny on top of that just runs around and just nukes everything at the same time with a 3-tick rate. So that team comp is actually really, really dangerous. You can be like severely under leveled, like by 20 levels, and you can run in there and just delete everything. I've tried it already. I've done it already. So that's probably the best team comp in the game outside of just having a Bunny, a Volby, a VS. And then if you want to have a Jaber for it to be a 5 squad with the turrets, and then also the being able to heal. So if Bunny, gets low, or Volby gets low, VS gets low, you can always just throw that turret down, and then they can use it as a little hub to kind of run to, and then they, get healed or whatever. Or if, let's say, it's time to heal up, or you need to res someone, you can throw a assault turret a little bit further away, shoot it with a thing, increase the duration, build it right. Then you can use that in order to give time for you to, res a teammate. Or you can put a healing drone right there, so that way after you heal them or after you res them, they have the heal drone right there, and they also have something that the enemy is going to try and attack before they go ahead and focus fire them, which allows for them to, again, maintain life and make sure you don't go down and then your team's dead. So Jaber is really strong. Same thing with Enzo. Enzo will never not be bad. Him and Glade, you can't nerf them. No matter what you do to them, their skills are completely based around the weapons of the game. So Bunny, Volby, Viessa, those are characters where you can nerf them into the ground and then they're not playable anymore. But the way that Glade and Enzo's kits are built, you will never have to worry about them being bad in the game. They will always be good. And if anyone says that Enzo is not good, they're just not smart. I'm sorry. But you can make any weapon in this game have unlimited ammo. So that's really strong. And I say unlimited ammo because I mean unlimited ammo. The cooldown reduction, whenever you build them right and all of that, you can legit make it, because I legit have all of the modules that I need in order to see what a character looks like if you have all of these skills on, like, basically where you can get them right back after they do it. So I've literally been able to do this with every character so far because I have these skill modules maxed out. And being able to legit force ammo types that are doing really, really good DPS, and then I don't even have a legendary ultimate ultimate weapon, whatever you want to call it, unique weapon, that I'm using it for, it's going to be even more deadly. So being able to not only do that for you, but also for your team, you're now looking at making any one of these characters S+ just for having an Enzo on your team. So he can be a part of the team comp of Bunny, Volby, Viessa, and with an Enzo, and that can make everyone really good, especially Volby, because Volby, she puts her dot damage down, and then you can she kind of has to like let it do its damage or whatever, but then she pulls out her weapon. Bunny, she just constantly is running around doing her stuff. She doesn't have to ever use her weapon. With a Viessa and a Volby with an Enzo, those three work really, really well together, and Bunny just cleans up everything while they're kind of shooting their guns or whatever they're doing. So Enzo inherently buffs everyone else on his team, just for the fact that if you have a really OP weapon that comes out as, the game gets harder or whatever, everyone gets that weapon. Enzo basically makes it to where you get unlimited ammo. So that's strong in its own right. So yeah, and then also with Glade and Enzo, you're looking at some serious sort of, synergy there whenever it comes to her fact that she already, gets, much DPS with that. And then Jaber with an Enzo, he gets more damage whenever he puts both of his turrets out. So you can kind of, again, like I said, the S pluses and the S's, they're mixed matchable. You can put them however you want. They're going to be good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Izuku, we out. Peace.